Aloha.
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 How are you today?
I'm great. How are you
Oh,
boys over in the cold?
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is a little cool.
And it
So
got to 80 this weekend, so
Ooh.
we're pretty warm.
yeah, and then all of a sudden it dropped to 50. It's
Yeah,
like
well,
what? But that is like Idaho.
that's
My
Idaho.
my daughter's always like, yeah, Idaho spring weather's like a woman. Can't make up its mind. I go, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
It's like 82 degrees, 78 to 82 degrees here every single day. We're
That
just
is
like
freaking
at a constant.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
That's super awesome. That's cool. You
Yeah, so
deserve
tell
it.
everybody, where are you on the islands? What island are you on?
I'm on the big island of Hawaii and I'm in Kailua Kona.
There you go.
She is in paradise every single day. And it's fun
am.
because, Rod and I get to talk to you every once in a while. And last night, I'm literally I just put my head on the pillow and I go, ding. And Judy goes, who's that? I go, I have no idea. So I
Whoops.
was thinking it was our kids. And then you're sending photos of diving. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was not.
I know it's probably late. I forgot that it's 4 hours instead of 3 now because we never changed. We don't have daylight savings time. So I was like, "Ooh, that was kind of late." Sorry about that.
Well,
It's all
full
good.
disclosure, I was sitting on the couch. My daughter was playing a video game, and I was just scrolling. So no, we were all sitting out there having a big old bowl of ice cream, checking out videos.
yeah.
So
I had to literally just shut down.
yeah, no.
But it's all good. I'm always up for a call, but I'm like, yeah, it's good. So if you guys don't know by now, we're the RoadFS podcast, and every week we get together with some amazing guests to talk about business, about life, about what's happening. And you've had some pretty exciting things going on in your world lately.
I truly have. I went to the Dominican Republic this past February, and it's a trip that I've been planning for nearly 10 or 12 years. I heard about it, and it's kind of a spendy trip. It's a long trip. You're off grid. I mean, I had to have my shop all in line, et cetera, et cetera. So I know we went out to the Silver Bank of the Dominican Republic off of Puerto Plata.
Wow.
And they have a whale sanctuary there. It's a very intimate encounter. We go a live aboard 9 hours out on the Silver Bank. We moor up. There's only 3 boats out there, and you get to swim and interact with the humpbacks while they give birth and sing and play. I mean, the whole thing blew my mind. It was like so beyond my expectation. It was incredible.
That is
That would be a dream come true for me. So I mean, not only did you have an amazing opportunity, but I think there's something there for business owners, right? Because we tend to get in the grind mode. We're always building, we are always working. How did you set up your business so that you could take this amazing trip?
So the last 3 years, I've been very geared towards health and wellness, and started off with a huge weight loss, and then I shifted gears in my care, and I went to a more natural approach. I did some biohacking, and then I hired a manager, and in doing that, I was experimenting on how do I keep my mental health? How do I stay plugged in? How do I keep myself healthy and happy and disconnect from work? Because I have a tendency to just answer that phone every time. And so I started off I'd work 3 weeks and then I'd take a week off. And it just did wonders for my mental health. So I'm like, I'm going to start traveling. I'm going to start doing what I've been always wanted to do, like that trip, 10, 12 years in the coming. That was a year in the planning. I was on a wait list for 2 years. So, I mean, that was a very well planned out trip, and I knew I was going to disconnect. I have great support. I have a great crew right now. I'm so, so, so blessed. I'm just really blessed that we can kind of support each other in having lives. I support them as well. It's like they have families and whatnot. So I encourage them to take time off as well. So we all don't get burnt out, and we have a really healthy, happy environment to work in.
Yeah, and that's why Jody and I are moving, and we're going to start working with you next week. So
Great.
we'll be there.
Hey, I'm up for that.
Yeah,
I'll build an Ohana for you guys.
Oh, dude, I would love it. Judy and I always talk about Ohana. That is a very dear word to our family. We're always talking about Ohana. So
yep,
that's awesome.
It's great. I would welcome you guys. I would have you guys anytime. I would definitely make sure you'd have a good time while you were here.
So one of the things that just came out is the IDA just put out a survey in the first part of April, second week of April, where you could go fill out a survey, and everybody got it in their email, and talk about what the IDA should be involved in. And I think that that's a great, just when you were saying that, it just shot in it, the health and wellness and mental health and taking a break and that kind of stuff. I think that's a great thing that the IDA could provide. And I mean, that's fabulous, because I think there's so many of us that don't even recognize the burnout.
No.
And Jody's rolling his eyes right now thinking of how ironic it is that I'm the one saying this, because literally I can't tell you the last time I didn't work.
He does.
Yeah,
literally.
exactly.
It's
literally. So I don't take a lot of vacations. I work when I'm on vacation. And I think that is, I think a lot of us suffer from that, because we feel like if we leave the business, it's going to crumble.
Right. Well, and there's that FOMO, that's fear of missing out. Like, oh, what if I miss a big job? Or, everything happens at the exact right time. You really have to let go, and you have to trust. And I think my biggest thing was I was holding on too tight. And once I let go, and then I started delegating. It takes so much stress off a business owner. And I have my phone set that goes off every night at a certain time, and it just goes silent. It doesn't ring. It's important for us as humans to unplug and connect with things that really light you up, with family, with friends. It's imperative.
Yeah. This past weekend, I had the opportunity to go down to LA and spend the weekend with my son. And I always love going down there because he and his partner, they live on a 32-foot Hunter sailboat. And so, we go out and we go sailing for about 3 hours, and the poor lady with us got really sick.
So no.
But it's just so, being out on the ocean, feeling the breeze, and, we didn't get any dolphins, which was a bummer, but, it still was just so awesome to disconnect. And then the next day, it had turned really foggy and kind of cooled down. And it would have been easy to get, oh man, today sucks, right? But we're like, you know what? Let's just go for a bike ride along Venice Beach. And, we're doing this jungle gym that they have at Santa Monica. And it just was really great to just be on the bike and laugh at each other and, try to avoid the pedestrians that would dart out in front of you. And I think it's important that you have those times, both as a business owner, but more importantly, as a person.
Right. Rod just brought up the IDA, and I've been trying to figure out how to give back to my community. And that's another form of joy within me, is giving back. And I joined the health and welfare, or is it, health and welfare. Wellness. Thank you. Health and wellness with the IDA this year. And I'm working on a couple articles about anxiety, depression, and PTSD. And I've had my own journey there, and I want to share it. And I want to just make sure that people know they have options, and that there's options, and there is ways to connect and have joy and have balance in your life. And I'm really lit up about giving back and doing that this year. I've never been so involved in the industry, and I really want to get involved more. I'm pretty lit up about it.
Yeah, and I think that's a great opportunities. You know, we started being more and more involved in the IDA as the years have gone on, and I think that's there's a lot of people out there that critique the industry, and I think the way to combat that is, if you have a problem, is get involved.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
it's
Really?
I've always told my kids and even people that work with us, our team members, you're more than welcome to complain about something as long as you come up with a suggestion on how to make it better.
Or
Don't
a
just
solution,
complain
yeah.
to complain. If you're going to complain about something, come up with a way to fix it, or at least get involved. So,
Didn't I see your name on the Health and Wellness Committee,
you did.
Ron? Yeah, I thought so.
I just
Yeah.
joined. I've gone to one meeting, so I've just started out on there. So yeah, you'll see me in there.
Well, and I
Oh, great.
think that's an important thing that Rod just highlighted, right? We, you know, as business owners, a lot of times we don't have any outlet to express our frustration, our anxiety, our disappointment, right? And there are days where Rod comes in, he opens the door, shuts the door, and he goes, "All right, time for me to get on my soapbox," right?
Yep.
And he unloads for 20 minutes, sometimes longer, right? But then once it's over, he's like, "All right, what do we got to do to fix it?" Right? And I think one of the good things about the IDA Health and Wellness is they're going to try to give you some tools to work through these aspects that are very real aspects of our life and of our business. So, how have you kind of wrestled with that? Because I remember when you were here last, you and I were just sitting here and you talked about overcoming trauma and working through some of the things in the past to where you're now in a really good place.
Yeah, well, and definitely, and I kind of had a rough year. And when you get when these issues come up and you get re-triggered, the more tools you have in your belt, the smoother, the quicker the trigger leaves, and the quicker you can get regulated instead of dysregulated. I am a huge fan, and I'm actually I just shot a link about EMDR to put on the IDA website. EMDR has been integral in my success.
And for those of us that don't know EMDR, I do, but for those that don't, what is it?
So it's a series of tapping, lights, eye movement. It takes you from inside your trauma and being in a very triggered place to kind of removing you from the feelings, and you can actually workshop your trauma without having the dysregulation in your body and your brain kind of getting into the loop. So it disconnects that so you can function. It's incredible. And I was when I started it 15 years ago. I started doing EMDR. And I do blocks of it. Like if I have an issue that I need to work through, I'll just go for a few sessions, and my lady does tapping on my legs, workshop it, boom, it's out, it's gone, it leaves my body. There's actually a website on, and I don't know what it is right now, but there's a website that you can get on, and you can find EMDR all over the United States, like places wherever you are, you can get connected with a therapist that actually does it. So yeah, it's been very handy. That's one of my main tools is EMDR. It also works for anxiety and depression. So not only PTSD, but anxiety and depression, panic attacks. You can apply it to just about anything in your life.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm usually pretty closed. I don't do a lot of as much on Facebook or anything. I usually don't talk about my family or anything, but I have a daughter that is autistic, and she uses EMDR for a lot of the stuff that she has, because she can have panic attacks, and she's it helps calm her down. And there's one called brushing, where you literally take a little brush that you use, like garlic or whatever, and if she does it on her arms, then she calms down. And so it's very helpful. And I think that for people that are skeptical of it, just take a look in the mirror and see how you self-regulate. A lot of people use alcohol or drugs, and that's a
Right.
little more destructive than doing something like tapping or brushing or meditation or anything that is
Earthing.
chemically induced medication type of thing. So these are all real things that are out there. And I think that part of the problem is the stigma that you need something. People don't realize they need something to help ground them and to, like you said, remove themselves from whatever the trauma they're dealing with is and get themselves into a good place.
Yeah, there's also it's just like we do it at work. I kind of inserted this into my work too. If we're all having like a bad day, like anything that you can do, like things like eating a sour candy, going and taking your shoes off, putting your feet on the earth, just little things like that, little tiny practices, or we go and shake out our bodies, or we, do some exercises or dance at work. Like we have regular dance parties at my shop. Anything to like shake out that just to break up the monotony and get you out of the mood and moving forward in the day in a positive way.
Taco Tuesday, baby.
Yeah.
That's right.
I love that. So what, I mean, you do a lot in your business. I mean,
I do.
So let's talk about your specialties, the focus, maybe what's coming up in the coming year, because you always have something you're working on.
I do. This year's an expansion year. So in the past week, aircraft is really becoming a central focus of my business. We are getting just my crew is so outstanding. Again, I can't thank them enough, and I'm so blessed. But we have such a great crew. We're gaining a really good reputation out here in the islands. So we've already started flying to Oahu and Maui with these people that we contract in the private sector. We cleaning the private jets, the lease jets. So I just talked to a guy this week where I'm looking for some office space, or I need to get some golf carts. I need to get an office out on the tarmac. There's another FBO opening. They want me to go into Kauai. I mean, there's so much happening. I'm so excited about it. And it's thrilling because this is the trajectory of my business that I've always wanted to go, is in specializing in aircraft appearances. And it's just thrilling. It's exciting. And then we expanded the shop this year. I mean, we're at a 3,200 square foot shop at this point. We doubled our space. I mean, it's distributing. I'm looking at expanding my distributing line. I mean, there's just, now that I have the support in my crew and I have a manager, it's just, the sky's the limit. We're really excited for this year and everything that's coming.
That is awesome.
That's super cool.
That is awesome. And I think it's ironic because when we first met you, it was working on an airplane, and it was
right.
And you were so energetic and excited to work on them. And it was just, I think that kind of energy that people bring in, and there's certain people in the industry that have that energy and that drive in their business. I mean, and then I've always said that there's kind of two kind of people in detailing. They either are passionate about the items they're working on. They really love airplanes, or they really love cars, or they're passionate about their business. And it's like there's this combination where you're passionate about both, right? You really love the aircraft, you really love the business part of it and expanding your business. And I think that's exciting for people. Jody and I love it when our business expands and it goes in a direction we've been planning for. It's so energizing, and it gives you such a sense of accomplishment. You're like, that's it. That's exactly what we wanted it to do, and that we had a really good experience a couple of weeks ago at the TRCMA.
I heard that was a fabulous event. It was so great. Such a success.
And we got so many compliments on what we did, and we closed it out and we had fun. And it was just such a positive experience. And those are the kind of things that energize me, is being around the positive people and people that give me energy to keep going.
I was just talking about this with colleague Sydney Brigg-Gwynn, and how the industry is so it's so vast now. There's so many different choices. We have so many different choices for products, for mentors, for training. It's ceramic coatings, PPF. It's all just blowing up, and it's really exciting. I'm so glad to be involved in the industry right now, because it's really in a growth spurt, and aligning yourself with people like you and people that are excited about the industry and excited about where it's going, and connecting with people, like, really. And that goes along with health and wellness too, connecting with people, doing what you love, being lit up. It all connects. It all creates expansion, growth, and wellness.
Yeah. So that's a question I want to ask you. Now, we haven't talked about this ahead of time because I like to just ask these questions.
Uh-oh.
But in the industry, what do you see as driving us further forward? Is it advances in products? Is it advances in machinery? Or is it advances in just the way we do business?
I think it's all of it. I think as it expands, what I'm always looking for is people that aren't doing things exactly like me. I'm looking for the people that are looking outside of the box. And I think that you grasp onto those rare gems, and they're all over the place, and really pick the brains of people that think about things differently, approach things differently, approach their business differently, approach how they're using the tools, how they're using the products, combining products. I mean, there's a lot of kind of alchemy going on in the industry right now that I really, really, really like, and I'm excited about. So all of those things excite me.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of the, from somebody that does that has a business doing the detailing itself, that's kind of what I expected. We've asked that question before, and obviously if you ask it of a product company, it's the products, and a machine company, it's the machines.
Right.
But I think it really is, they're keeping up with each other, and that's good. You know, if we had an industry that the products were overrunning the machines or the new equipment, then we wouldn't be seeing the advances that we are. And I'm so blown away. I mean, I was, like I said, I was filling out this IDA survey a little while ago, and it was asking how many years you've been in the industry. And that's a little depressing, but, when you take
for me too,
you take a look at that. And I actually posted once, I have this really crappy old Black & Decker, rotary that I started.
I have an old Black & Decker. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's old school.
And I still have it. I literally in my shop, I have a thing called the wall of shame. And it's, it's old crappy stuff or things I've broken or whatever. But I was looking at that. I was thinking just the advances in everything that we came from and where it is now. I mean, we're really, really lucky. We get to spend time in a lot of training facilities and a lot of really high-end shops and a lot of places that we really probably aren't qualified to be in. And when you see what people are doing and the advances they're making and how the industry is making a difference. When we got to spend some time in the Peterson Automotive Museum in California a month or so back, just to see how members of the IDA and the California detailing community, Rigo Santana, the new generation detailers,
right,
they were able to help that #1 automotive museum in the world advance the way they take care of cars. And they were so open to us being there. And the CEO of the company, of Peterson's, invited us back every year. And it was so good to see that kind of a positive response. And I think that's like you said, the sky's the limit. There's only so we can just keep going from there to where we're helping consumers understand it. I know there's a number of detailers that have consumer days where they show people how to care for their own vehicles and everything. And airplanes is such a wide open, industry, because there's more and more people that are renting, leasing, buying private jets and things like that. What
would that be like?
I know.
Right.
I want to get in that crowd, man. It's like, hey, let's fly to Hawaii today.
So that's one of the questions that I think that when I was thinking about you coming in or being on the show, I was thinking, okay, so a typical private jet, how long does it take you to detail one?
Ooh, it depends. Like there's such a wide variety of services that we offer. We offer everything from a quick turn, like this became really big when COVID hit. Like we started really keying in on sanitation.
Mhm.
So that has kind of carried through COVID. So people will come in and they, because it's a lease jet, they come in, they land in Hawaii, same day they're leaving and picking up another client and taking them somewhere else. So we'll go in and it maybe takes a small plane like a Global Express or a, you're not looking at a lot of seats, um, and on up to like a global or a G750, which is a very large plane and goes international. Anywhere from like 40 minutes for a quick turn for a wipe down to, like an hour and a half to, if we're cleaning up dog hair or pet spills or something like that. Then you go into the deep cleaning on the interior. Exterior, we can do anything from a quick wipe on the money side where the client comes in, maybe they had, some de-icing solution or hydraulic fluid. We go in and we wipe that all down. So the new person coming in looks at the plane, it looks brand new and shiny. To bright work, which I normally do. We don't have a lot of hangar space. So sometimes I'll fly over to Maui. They have a larger hangar area. We'll do bright work on the nacelles or on the leading edge of the wings. You name it, we do it. So
Do you
those take a lot longer. Like doing the outside of a plane, a wipe down takes 2 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
But so that's kind of it's a really wide variety.
That's cool. That's super fun. So, and I love planes. Planes are fun to be around and, to work on. And, what a great opportunity for you. I mean, to watch your, we've known you for a number of years now.
Yeah.
And we've watched you kind of grow your business, expand. We know you're doing some extension work for other players here in the States. And I love seeing that collaboration. And I think that's one of the things that, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's been very helpful for your business is being able to collaborate with people that you viewed as mentors, but also you've built a relationship now where you're in some ways an extension of their team.
Yeah, I call them sister companies because we're basically working for the same client. I'm just an extension of them, or they're an extension of me. We all have to maintain a really super high quality. We have to be doing the things the same way and having that really that high quality and image that carries across wherever those planes are going or wherever they're coming in.
Yeah. So let's looking at 2023, right? And looking back, right? You're here where you are, right? What are some tips that you think are essential for business owners as they're moving forward into either challenging or successful times? What do you think is really critical for a business owner?
Well, I think you have to align yourself with energetically with what you're vibing on, like whatever your vibe is and where you want to go. You have to find like-minded people that are going to support that and challenge you. Most of all, challenge you. Like if you're complacent and happy and content, I try and not be content. I try and reach for things out of my comfort zone for growth. And I think aligning myself with people that have similar goals in mind, yet are always challenging themselves, that's who I align with. So if you're again, it goes to thinking outside of the box. You want to surround yourself with excellence and people that are thinking outside the box and reaching for more.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So how do people get in touch with you?
Well, I am on, let's see, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Ake Ake Professional Detailing. I have AkeAkeProDetail.com is my website. I'm in right by Costco in Kona, Hawaii. And
so I can get a hot dog while you detail my plane.
Yeah, or you can drop your car while you go do Costco shopping. Very convenient.
That's awesome.
So what do you have planned for fun this year? I mean, the DR is, is pretty sure highlight.
Yeah, how are you gonna
what are you gonna do now? I mean,
Well, actually I'm going to Bimini, so the Bahamas, and that's in July.
Yep.
That's my next trip. I'm already booked for doing the Dominican Republic again next year.
Wow, nice. Good for you.
So I booked as soon as I got off the boat within a week, and I was like, because I really just want to experience it again. Like, now that I know how it went, I kind of want to submerge myself in the experience. I'm not one to do things like that over and over, but I'm just like expanding again. I'm expanding my experiences. So Bimini, and then next year I'm looking at going to around Europe. So those are my next.
Wow, life's good, Kelly.
Yay, good for you. And some work with the IDA's committees and all that stuff. So hey, if you guys have not connected with Kelly, you need to do that. She's awesome in both personally and as a detailer. And like you said, I think connection is the way that people help expand their business and their personal lives. You wouldn't be where you are if it wasn't for other people. So connect with Kelly and get involved. And, there's a lot of people that will be doing business and going, gosh, how do I do that? How do I do planes? Well, just contact Kelly and ask her, she can help.
It.
So, and like always, tune in. If you find somebody else that you want to see on the show or other products or other people, let us know. And get a hold of us at,
youtube.com at RoadFS, Instagram, TikTok, we're everywhere.
So get a hold of us.
Well, thank you so much for being our guest. And
it's always a pleasure with you guys.
It's always a blast. Those of you guys that are tuning in your remote, please remember to go out, like, share, and subscribe.
Yep. And I'll see you next week at the IDA's Health and Wellness Committee meeting.
I will see you. That's right. All right. Guys have an awesome day.
You too.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
See
you later.
Aloha.
Aloha.